Good Monday morning. On this episode of Growing Smarter Every Week, I'm going to explain what we're doing with these buckets here. We're calling it the bucket test. And Radicle Agronomics is helping us out with these tests. They're paying for the shipping and testing costs. And so we're glad that they're helping us do this kind of research. These buckets represent 3 different kinds of tests that we're going to be sending off this week. And I'm going to explain them 3 tests. So these first 2 buckets here are our lime incubation tests. So basically what it's going to answer is how much lime is it going to take to fix our pH. Every soil type is different. So we have 2 different soil types in each of the, we have a soil type in each of these buckets. And what they're going to do is, in a controlled environment, they're going to add different rates of calcium carbonate to these samples of soil and incubate them for 120 days. And then they will measure how much the pH and buffer pH changed in 120 days, along with phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and magnesium shifts. So since that's in a very controlled environment and they can measure the calcium carbonate very precisely, it should give us a good number on how much lime it takes to move our pH to whatever our range is. It will tell us how much it takes to move it. And the second kind of test here is our lab comparison test. So once again, we're sending off 2 different soil types, and one was from southern Vernon County, one's from middle of Bates County. And they're going to send off, once they get up there, they're going to run 1 sample on the Radicle Lab, and they're going to send 1 off to Midwest labs every week. Every week they're going to do those 2 tests, and they're going to compare the results. And so they will see how much the numbers bounce around from test to test. They will also see whether the Radicle Lab is more consistent, and we will see how closely Radicle's results match the labs that we're used to, and whether the variation in soil tests is coming from the soil or from the lab that we're using. So that should give us some interesting data there. And maybe the test that I'm the most excited about doing, these 6 buckets represent our critical level and nutrient build test. So these 3 buckets represent the phosphorus test, and these 3 would be the potassium test. And so what it answers is the true buffer capacity of our soils, which is how many pounds applied it takes to raise our soil test. And then it will also tell us the critical level where crops begin to run short. In their greenhouse there in Tremont, Illinois, they're going to grow they're going to grow wheat in that soil test, and they're going to give every nutrient, everything it needs other than phosphorus. And they're going to continue to grow that crop of wheat on that sample until it starts showing signs of phosphorus deficiency. And that level where it starts showing signs would be that critical level where we do not want our soil tests, we do not want to see our soil tests under that level on that soil type. Same thing for potassium. They will give it everything it needs other than potassium, and they will let that wheat mine out the potassium, and when they start seeing signs of deficiency, that will be our critical level. So if we know what level is our critical level, and we know how much it takes to get it there, it should give us a lot more insight on and accuracy to our fertilizer recommendations on what pays and what will not pay. So these are the bucket tests that we'll be sending off this week. And like always, if you want help with your soil testing, if you want to run some soil through the lab yourself, anything like that, just give us a shout. Thanks for watching.